All right, I am dual streaming. Hopefully I'm good on both. Yes, live, perfect. Hello, welcome to day 6 of 21 Days to Magic. It felt so good to unplug from technology yesterday. I truly freaking needed it. Spent some time with my mama this morning. My grandma helped with my little one, so my mom and I got some quality time today. So I hope that you have all just had a beautiful weekend, a beautiful Sunday. I am going to talk today about my daily gratitude practice. So as I told you guys, the next few days I'm going to be covering my, hey Gabby, the next few days I'm going to be covering my morning routine. Since my morning routine is fairly lengthy, I figured the best way to give you guys, hey Danielle, the best way to give you guys the most value was to break it down in bite-sized pieces so that you guys can, watch the live video or watch the replay and take what serves you the most. Because the most important thing about any practice that you do is that it feels aligned and that your intentions are pure and that you go into every practice feeling good about it. Because if you go into the practice feeling overwhelmed by it, it's going to have the adverse effect. So I figured breaking my morning practice down into bite-sized pieces for you guys would be the best way to do that. So on Friday, I talked about my Magnificent Outcomes practice, and I talked about the 3 things that I write down in my journal every single day to start manifesting magic on a mini level. So I like to call it mini magic. But today I'm going to talk to you about my actual gratitude practice and what I actually write down in my journal every single day that has really not only helped me consciously be more grateful of the world around me, but has actually reprogrammed my subconscious. And that is the key. I think 99% of us on this planet walk around consciously. Hey Angie, hi! I think 99% of us walk around consciously grateful, right? I think most of us say thank you when someone holds a door for us. I think most of us, when we receive a gift or we receive something, we're grateful for it. We say thank you. On a conscious level, most of us are very grateful. However, the key is to reprogram your subconscious, because your subconscious is what controls your everyday life. Your subconscious is what gets you from point A to point B. Your subconscious is the roadmap of your life. And unfortunately, these years that we've lived our lives seeing, when our parents and our friends and our loved ones are never to blame, but maybe seeing your parents struggle with their finances or struggle in relationships or struggle with success, or seeing loved ones in your inner circle struggle with those things, we have been conditioned on a subconscious, deeper level to be ungrateful. And this is that we just expect things to be hard. We expect things never to turn out well. We kind of always, instead of going into something and having, the best case scenario, like, oh, what is the best case scenario that would come from this? Most of us go into something expecting the worst. And that is just from years of human conditioning and the way that we've been raised with the society around us. So this practice is, I'm not saying when I'm telling you guys this practice that we're ungrateful. It's most of us on a conscious level are grateful. When I started doing this, I was like, well, I'm thankful when someone holds a door. I'm thankful when I get a gift. I'm thankful when I get money, right? But it's reprogramming the subconscious. And the way that we do that is by tricking that part of our mind into deeming something as relevant, into deeming that part of our brain as important, and that these things in our life are substantial enough that we need to trigger our mind to focus on it. So we have to actually get our mind to focus on gratitude on autopilot, okay? So even when we're not thinking about being grateful, our mind is doing that in the background. So this is where this daily gratitude practice comes in, and this is why it's so important. So every single day, I write down 10 things that I'm grateful for and why. There are so many journals out there that are amazing, and I encourage you to find the one that works with you the most. But I will tell you, it is so important to write down why you are grateful. And a lot of these journals, they say, write down 3 things that you're grateful for today, and it gives you like these tiny little lines, right? The key is to trick your mind into thinking that what you're writing is important, because it is. So when we write, I'm thankful for my mom, that's great, but your subconscious isn't going to take that on as important, right? Because we could write that all day on autopilot. When you say, I am thankful for my mom because she calls me every single day to see how I'm doing and it makes me feel special, then you're telling your subconscious, this is important. Remember this. Hold on to this. And when we do it over time, even when it's hard, because I've had a few people message me since I started doing this, and they're like, why do I feel like I start getting on like this good, this good routine, and then something bad happens? The key to being grateful and the key to this work is trusting that it's working even when it feels like it's not, right? So many people will be like, oh my gosh, God is always supporting me, or everything is amazing, when everything is going right? We have to get to that level even when we feel like things are going wrong. That's how I've gotten this far in my life, because every time shit would hit the fan or something bad would happen in my life, I've now tricked my mind into saying, this feels bad on a human level, so this feels bad on a human level, but I trust, know, and believe that everything is working for me, right? So even when shit felt really thick, really heavy, I would still show up for my practice every single day, and I still do. So what you put out is what you get back. It is the law of attraction. It is what I love so much about what I teach, because it is a science. It is proven. Quantum physics has proven that we are all energy, right? And the energy that you put out is what you get back. So number one, writing down 10 things that you're grateful for every single day, and why. Because writing down why is what tricks your brain, tricks your subconscious into remembering that it's important. Therefore, over time, the more consistent you are with the practice, the more you're training your subconscious so that you're becoming grateful on a subconscious level. Now, you're walking through every single day of your life on autopilot being grateful, and that energy that you're putting out is now running in the background, and it's good fucking energy. So you don't even have to think about it. Once you do this practice enough and you're consistent in this work enough, you don't even have to think about the energy that you're putting out, because your subconscious is programmed to be grateful and put that energy out into the universe, okay? So that's number one. Number two, I just talked about what you put out is what you get back. So that's the law of attraction, okay? Number three, and I touched on this in one of my earlier videos, is the key to everything with this work is getting your mindset to 51%. Getting our subconscious programming to be 51% grateful. Because here's what happens. This is how the ripple effect works, right? Once we get our mindset to be 51% grateful, 51% abundant, 51% operating on our highest frequency, right? Your vibe attracts your tribe. All of a sudden, that creates 71%. And then that 71% creates 81%. And that 81% creates 91%, and so on and so forth. Until all of a sudden, almost every single day of your life feels a lot easier, feels good as fuck, and you're noticing less and less bad days, because the energy that you're operating on autopilot day after day after day after day is 91%, 99% abundant, 99% grateful. The vibration that you're operating on consistently is of a high vibration, okay? So, it's not easy to get there. And so many people quit before the magic happens. They quit doing this work when life gets hard. They quit doing this work when something gets fucked up in their job. They quit doing this work when shit's going bad in their relationship. The key to getting to that point is to fucking trust that it's working for you and keep doing it. It's like setting out to, you wake up one day and you set a goal to do 50 push-ups, right? If I were to wake up tomorrow and say, I'm gonna do 50 push-ups without stopping in a row. Now, I can't do 50 push-ups in a row without stopping. And I'm sure as shit not gonna wake up tomorrow morning and be able to do it. It's a muscle that I have to train over and over and over again. So every single day I have to show up and exercise that muscle until one day I can do 25 push-ups. And then another day I can do 35. And then another day 55, right? But if I were just to stop cold turkey and then wake up a year later and wonder why I can't fucking do 50 push-ups, it's because I quit before the magic happened. It's because life got hard and I decided just to stop showing up. That's not how it works. Your mindset is a muscle. Your mindset has to be worked just like every other muscle in your body, right? So we have to be grateful even when we feel like we have nothing to be grateful for. And I'm going to touch on this a little bit. Hey, Michelle! I know the birds, they're passionate too. So I'm a single mom, right? And I'm pretty transparent about my relationship. I'm pretty transparent about my co-parenting with my daughter's father. And even when things were really hard when we first split, because, it was messy. Like, when you split in any relationship that you've been in for long term, it gets messy, right? Every single day, I would write down in my journal something that I was grateful for about my daughter's father. And to this day, every single day, even when we're on each other's nerves, right? Like, I'm sure any other single mom or anyone that's even in a relationship can feel this, right? I choose every single day to write down one thing, at least, that I'm grateful for my daughter's father for. because without him, I would never have her, right? And that's the key. There's so many people that live this life of, I want them to get what they have coming to them, or, you know, whatever. The key to creating a life full of magic is to put magic out into the universe, even when it feels hard. So even when it felt hard for me to want to forgive certain people in that situation, even when it felt hard for me to want to be grateful for him, I chose every single day, and I still choose every single day to do it. And I do it with everything, even the haters, even everything else that happens in my life. It's always happening for me, and I choose to look at how it's serving me versus how it's holding me back. And I've had a couple people message me about the ability to shift quickly, the ability to go from taking things that feel shitty and then, you know, having a quick turnaround, being able to shift quickly into something that helps me grow my business, or that serves me to help me grow into a better leader or a better person, right? And I am going to do a live video on that, but it's just like coming out of the starting blocks, right? If you run track or you're an athlete, like, you don't wake up one day and then all of a sudden you can come out of those starting blocks really quick, right? It's practice. The first time you're probably going to fall on your face a few times, right? It's practice. So the last thing I wanted to leave you guys with was this, and I talked about the butterfly effect, and I'm reading A Happy Pocket Full of Money. Okay, it's a great book. The author is David Cameron Gikandi. Okay, and this is the end of chapter 10. And if you guys aren't familiar with quantum physics or the compound effect or you know, the ripple effect, I'm going to talk about the butterfly effect. And this passage reads, physicists have a beautiful way of explaining this simply. They call it the butterfly effect. James Gleick, in his book Chaos, explains the butterfly effect as the notion that a butterfly stirring in the air today and pecking can transform storm systems next month in New York. And that is just a simple example. Everything is a cause that has an effect. And everything is an effect that had a cause. This is a huge chain reaction that is not bound by time, space, or form. In the case of wealth, the effect is either wealth or poverty. Be aware of your thoughts and their probable effects. Is a particular thought likely to lead to wealth or to poverty? There are no such things as idle thoughts, words, actions, or states of being. So even when we are not conscious of the thoughts that we are having, they are still happening. And that is why it is so important to do a daily gratitude practice, so that you train your subconscious to always be grateful even when you're not consciously aware of it. Okay? Hope that was helpful for you guys. I will get this uploaded. Thank you guys for tuning in. My phone is on 10% over here.